Makosi, welcome to my channel, and I want to share with you some of the signs that we will get, especially to know that we've got the Amanono spirits. Remember, different spirits can take you up to the Amanono state, meaning that different spirits can take you for you to be able to receive or to be able to communicate with Amanono spirit, right? Different spirit. When I'm saying different spirits, means that if you've got Abalozi, they can either take you to get to the Amanono state. If you've got Zunza or Mandawe, they can take you to receive the Amanono to get to the Amanono state. So if your ancestors, they can take you to the Amanono state, depending on who takes you there. So now this is very important because we're going to be talking about signs. It depends who takes you to that state. So if, let's say, like for me and a lot of people that I see coming to me with Amanono spirits, they've been taken there by the Abalozi. So it means you will see, this is number one sign, you will see signs of water, the sea water. Wherever you see children in your dreams, you will see sea water, you will see the beach, you will see, depending on how your Abalozi comes to you, right? You see that your dream where the children are involved, you'll be seeing the water. The water, you'll see the water first, then they'll take you there. So if, let's say, it's Mandawi spirit, so you will see the different kind of water that the Mandawi spirit comes with as a sign, like before you see children and before you deal with children, right? Depends who's taking you to the Amanono spirit state. So you'll be seeing that in your dreams. Where this is Amanono spirit state is about being able to work with the spirits of children, the living, the ones that we are living with who are not dead, and the dead, the spirits of the dead and the spirits of the living, right? And the soon to be born, right? Now we get it. The soon to be born, the living, and those who have passed on. So now these are the signs I'm going to be explaining here. So when we're being taken there, where we get to know that we've got Amanono spirits, right? Our dreams will be frequent with children. Those dreams will be like teaching dreams. Those dreams will be, you'll be taught about, if we're talking about living children, the safeguarding of children and promoting children's welfare, it will be taught in your dreams. They'll be frequent. It will be like you in your dreams, you will be learning about children with different spiritual needs. Children dealing with different difficulties. When I'm talking about difficulties, it means that it could be physical, it could be psychological, it could be emotional, those kind of needs. So when you see those children in those dreams, you will be helping them. They'll be teaching you, because remember that I said it's teaching dreams. They will be teaching you on how to look after children with trauma, who have dealt with trauma in their lives, how to deal with children who are dealing with grief. They're grieving, maybe they're grieving a parent or something. But we are not talking about communication on a physical level. Obviously it will be done on a physical level consciously, but in the dream they will be taking you spiritually to teach you how you communicate. You reach that child spiritually, like the way we reach our ancestors spiritually. Even that child, the living child, you reach that child spiritually, where you are able to communicate with them. They can tell you their problems spiritually, the same way as when you're talking to ancestors, right? But this is a child who's living. Let's say maybe the children that you are being taught about, they're unable to express themselves. They're unable to tell you what their problems are, what they're dealing with on a day-to-day. So you, as an Amanono spirit healer, you'll be able to deal with those children on a spirit level, meaning that they don't have to say anything to you. You can tell that this child is dealing with this, because they can communicate with you. Their higher self and your higher self, you communicate with each other. I'm talking about living children. I'm giving you an example with signs with the living children, right? So they'll be able to communicate with you. So in those dreams, you will see your people will be teaching you on how to tell that there's something here wrong with this child. So they'll be teaching you about signs that you should be getting when a child is dealing with trauma, a child has got some difficulties that they can't express. They'll be teaching you in the dream state. It is not a one-off thing. It's like it's a proper training. They'll be teaching you how to deal with that. They'll be teaching you how to talk to a child who's grieving, how to reach them higher self, to communicate with them, so that when you're talking to them physically now, you are able to reach them. Because this is done spiritually. This is where you've reached Amanono state. So that is the trauma I explained first. And the other bit is that you'll be dealing like even in the dream, they'll be showing you like children who are dealing with anger issues, right? So you'll be able to communicate with them to find out what it is causing them, what is the root of this, because a child is not born like that, but there is a root, there's something that has caused the child to be in that kind of state. So you'll be taught to look at those signs that a child needs your help. Right, they will be teaching you in the dream state. So as well as apart from that, grief, abuse as well. Those children who are dealing with abuse, that they cannot express themselves. When I'm saying abuse, can be emotional, can be physical, can be like psychological, right? So they will be showing you the signs, the things that you need to be aware of. But then remember that we're talking about spiritual now. They're spiritually teaching you about this, meaning that you'll be communicating spiritually, higher self to higher self. Let's say you're just meeting a child physical, but you'll be able to hear them speak to you about their problems that they're dealing with on a day-to-day, like a real life. We're talking about real life. We're talking about living children. You'll be able to hear them, those who can't express themselves. Apart from that, there are children who are unable to express themselves. They can't speak. So you'll be able to communicate with them spiritually. Physically, you'll be with them. You'll be able to communicate with them the way we communicate with ancestors. You'll reach the child's higher self, your higher self to the child's higher self. You'll be able to tell that there is something not right here with the child. So you'll be able to get that. So once you've reached the Amanono state, that means they've opened that bit, meaning that they've opened that bit for you to be able to connect with the child on a higher self to higher self. I'm talking about living children. Okay? And as well, not only, and even self-esteem, you can see even in dreams when they're teaching you about children who suffer from that, the self-esteem, they'll be showing you, you'll be able to tell that this child is feeling like this for a reason that is, you'll be able to understand. A child might not be able to express themselves properly, but you'll be able to hear them. You'll be able to hear them that this child is suffering from this for this reason, for that reason. Because that child will be comfortable enough to be able to communicate to higher self to higher self. I'm talking about living children here. That is Amanono spirit state. Now, there's so many examples. But in the dreams, they'll be teaching you, you'll be seeing the dreams, you'll be being taught. You'll be being taught about dealing with children with different needs. With different spiritual needs. You'll be dealing with different children with different spiritual needs. In your dreams, you'll see as well that you're helping a child thrive. You're promoting the child's well-being in those dreams. You'll see it happening in the dreams because that is when they're teaching you. Now, after the teaching, we are talking about living children. After the teaching, they'll be testing you in the dreams as well. There'll be instances where you see yourself around children, so they are watching your people, whoever is taking you into the Amanono state, they are watching you to see if you're dealing properly with the child. You're meeting the child's needs in those dreams. You understand the children's concerns in those dreams. So that is when you're dealing with this. As well, when we're dealing with a grieving mother and grieving parents, right? Grieving parents or guardians, the guardians of the child. In the dreams as well, they'll be showing you how you communicate with those who are going through that, especially when it involves a child, because a grieving parents means that they're really feeling like they need to communicate, to connect with their child, to understand what they could have done right. So they'll be teaching you how you will be advising the parents in real time. So they'll be teaching you in the dream state, how you'll be advising them as well. They'll be teaching you how you connect with the spirit of a dead child of that parent, so that you are able to bring out the message from that child to the grieving parents. We are talking in physical terms. You are able to connect with the spirit of a dead child, so that you are able to, so that you can connect with the grieving parents, so that you can help them heal. So that you can help them heal. So when they understand what is happening, you'll be able to help them heal. Right? So now when we're talking about the spirit of the unborn child, that is a child who's not yet born. Some parents, some soon to be, or some mothers, right? Some mothers, sometimes they've got issues. They're failing to conceive, right? They're failing to conceive. You are able to communicate with the spirit of the soon to be born child of that mother. Even if it takes a year or two, you are able to communicate, to bring the message to the mother who's struggling to conceive, to let them know that they need to be patient. In the dream, the signs will be, they will be teaching you. You will see yourself with the mothers or those who are trying to conceive. You'll be dealing with them, trying to help them, and you will see yourself talking with the spirit of a soon to be born child. When it comes to miscarriages as well. So you will be talking with the spirit of, remember that the parent who loses a child in that way, they are grieving, right? They are grieving that bit. And when they are coming to you, Amanono spirit healer, you are able to communicate, to let them know, because you can connect with the child spirit of the miscarried child, to communicate, to let the grieving parent who couldn't carry the baby up to full term, to let them know the reason why that didn't happen, because there's a reason why that process couldn't go through. So you are able, they'll be teaching you in the dream. The signs will be, you'll be seeing yourself, seeing how children die before they reach that state, when it's not yet time. Sometimes when it's not yet time. So they'll be teaching you, they'll be showing you that that child came for that purpose, to experience that bit. So when you're explaining to the mother, you'll be able to give them advice as a spirit, as an Amanono spirit healer, in a way that they will understand, because you're talking to the spirit of a miscarried child, or the spirit of a stillborn child, because you are able to get the message directly from the spirit of that miscarried child or stillborn child, to let the grieving, the people who are left behind, to understand why that couldn't go through, Okay, that is the signs. In those signs, when I'm saying signs, is that you will be shown, you'll be taught in the dreams how to communicate with these spirits, how to communicate with the soul of that unborn child, with the soul of the deceased child, with the soul of a living child, the soul of that child. When I'm saying the soul now, we're talking about someone who's living, right? The higher self to higher self of that child. But when it's gone past, we're talking about the soul of that child. All right? So you'll be able to communicate with that. And another thing as well, like I said, so I don't forget a lot of things. I've written things down. So Amanono spirit, you can be taken to the Amanono spirit by different spirits. So some people, if they are taken by a water body that is just the river, then you'll be seeing yourself dealing with children. It's the Mandawe, and they are coming with the Indians and stuff like that. You'll be seeing that the children, a lot of children, you're learning about a lot of children, and Indian children, there are African children there, there are white children there. If you've got different spirits, now you'll have different kind of nationalities, children that you'll be looking after in your dreams. Those are the signs. The signs, they are not going to be they're going to be frequent. The teaching will continue, because it's continuous, isn't it? Our teaching is continuous. They don't teach you and then they go. But when you're about to be open with the Amanono spirit, with the Amanono spirit state, right? When you're about to be open, the dreams will be frequent, where we see yourself looking after children, or seeing other people losing children, or seeing children dying, unfortunately, seeing children dying. And another one that we are learning in this kind of dreams as well is that the children who are dying and they're coming to, who have died and they're coming to us, right, as Amanono spirits. When they're coming to us, remember that they need to heal. They need to heal the same way as our ancestors. Sometimes when they come to us, we need to take them through the process of healing some things that have happened. Now, when it comes to Amanono children, so when they're coming to us, they'll be taking us through the process whereby they've passed on. What caused them to pass on? What caused their death? Right? Meaning sometimes you have to take them through that process whereby sometimes you see something bad is about to happen, whereby you use your higher self in the dream state. You take that child out of the situation so that they don't relive that moment again. So you come in as a healer in the dream state to help that child not to go through that process that caused their death. That is the Amanono spirit healers. You'll be helping that child. You're taking the child out of the situation that caused the child to die before, so that they do not relive that moment, because that moment was so painful for them, so that you can guide them through the process. Like as a healer, you help them heal while that process is happening of their death. If their death became it was like a torturous kind of thing, like it happened in the most painful way. So you need to take them out so that you can help them heal while they're going through their last bit of their life. So that is Amanono spirit healer. You'll be taught all these things in the dream state, where you will see an accident about to happen, meaning that the way the child died, then you take the child out of that state, out of place. It doesn't have to be an accident, or even if it's abuse. If that abuse caused the child to pass on, when we're talking about spirit now, we're talking about the spirits of a dead child, you will be able to take them out of that state, right to the point where the process, where it was too difficult, so painful for them. You take them from there, then you heal their spirit as they pass on, so that they can go and become beautiful as ancestors. That is the Amanono spirit. But we are dealing with the living and the dead. When you have Amanono spirit, you'll be shown even in your dream state that you're dealing with the dead and the living. Meaning that if you are an Amanono healer, you're supposed to be able to hear the living. You're supposed to be able to tell when the child comes and they cannot express themselves. You're supposed to use your gift to reach them, to reach their higher self, so that you can hear what is causing the child the problem that they're experiencing. And when the grieving parents comes, you are able to listen and connect them with their child, because if you are a Amanono spirit healer, you are able to connect to their child so that you can bring the message directly to the parent. That is a Amanono spirit healer. The signs are many. Makosi.